too loose. Need to tighten, no took her to Hermes. Got her items up, what fucked up, and a spider home. Free the guy down the road, got a hide phone. Had my name from the street, not a microphone. Ain't no sleep, she on 2, I took Adderall. Niggas act like they us, but they not at all. Caught the baddest shit, I forgot the car. I put down in my teeth like on power walk. Pretty titties, her whole body sauce off. Hold the back of her head till her jaws locked. I don't care what he do, he a cornball. Extra layers, I'm dressing, I'm stuffed game. I'm the real one, 2 million on pinky ring. Come through pimping like Pinky without the cane. Niggas thinking they happy, they Eddie Kane. I been put on this stuff in my baby frame. Walk around with $1 that's pocket change. Niggas think that you smart till you knock your brain. I done brought the rover like on the flame. Me and Ski trying to see who the coldest shit. If I see you with bro, I don't know the bitch. Extra stuff every time, extra stuff every time, extra stuff every time when I'm stepping out. Put on stuff every time, put on stuff every time, put on stuff every time when I'm stepping out.
8x8, 36, 0 waste, 3 on 3, my type of date. All this stuff, I might be late. It's all this stuff, 8x8. Stuff is stuff is stuff. Stuff is stuff is stuff. Stuff is stuff is stuff is stuff. Wow, breaking the 9. Inside the spot, you know 3 of them mine. Feel like one oak and they one of a kind. 3 of a kind. Put on my ice and all 3 of them blind. I put grease in my soda, I'm trying to get fried. She rocking that outfit, she trying to get high. Rubbers on rubbers, I never get tired. Bought her that ice and I know she still lying. Brought number 1 on the plane cause she fly. Brought number 2 a new whip, she got dry. Brought number 3 a new girl, she suck dick. Brought number 4 a new sticker, she 5. Brought number 5, she not 5, number 5, number 5, number 5, number 5, number 5. Yeah, one at a time. Yeah. Stuff. Wow.
Today, we're going to talk about the loaded college basketball slates. We've got winners in the NBA, NHL, and we got to cash a squad ride tonight. This is Behind the Lines. Cooper Kupp might be washed. 4 targets, no catches. The guy ran a half a marathon. I've seen 20 tweets about it this morning. The guy didn't do a single thing.
Yeah, that was a frustrating bagel for a lot of fantasy owners.
Is this what we've become down in Blacksburg? Just complacent, happy to be going about our day and being a moose shit program, celebrating a kid getting 1 point against North Carolina A&T? He better fucking score a point. You're playing North Carolina A&T. He's leading college football, Jovan, in every single statistical category for a wide receiver. Every single one. And you don't give that guy the award? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the day, you got to reward teams for winning fucking games. And if they're in a power conference, they're in a power conference. I'm tired of this big dick swinging contest between the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and ACC. At the end of the day, you got to fucking reward winning. What's going on, guys? Happy BTL Wednesday, episode 613 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, what are you doing? Start tracking your bets today over on the best bet tracking app out there by far, Bookit Sports. If you're not using it already, what are you doing? Cleanest app out there by far to track your bets. W Pickett, just like DJ Fitz is saying in the chat right now. Yep, W Pickett. W DJ Fitz. Love to see it. That's how you start out your Wednesday, Jovan. How we doing? Squad ride hook.
Book of Chew, dude.
God,
Book
man.
Of Chew. That last minute and a half gave me, I don't even know, something. That was terrible. Dribbling it out and just dropping the ball and giving it to the other team back and forth. It was hot potato.
I don't know how, but is there a way we can blame Rav for that hook? Is there some sort of way we can maybe pin the blame on someone else?
There is always a way.
There's always a way.
Just say, fuck Rav, blame it on Rav. It's literally that easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got Chigs 6'9" coming in, resubbing W Chigs. We appreciate you. 14 months. Let's go. Squad ride bounce back tonight. Yes, sir. Only choice we have, Chigs. Only choice we goddamn have. We got Arm Threes coming in, dropping a sub for the community as well. Love to see it. Love to see that. So we got Rav in the chat. That's so cute. Okay. WTMA as well this morning. We had Lauren on there, Joshy and Mike running the show. If you guys missed that, so you can always go back and rewatch on the YouTube as well. People forget that. You can go back and rewatch if you missed the live shows over there on the Bookit Sports YouTube, and we're almost at 10K subbies. So help us out and subscribe. It's free. We got Billion Goldfish coming in, subbing as well. Love to see that. Let's fucking go, Goldfish. 27 months. That's no joke. You're no slouch, my man. Billion Goldfish, always in here at GOAT, seasoned vet. We appreciate you. W's. Enough of me yapping here, Jovan. Can we take a peep at the Sharp report from yesterday? Let's see how we did. 3-2 from me, Jovan. 2-3 from you. A rare losing day, and Utah. Blue balls. At least early on, they were hanging around. Blue balls.
No, they had a good first half of both halves, and just fell apart at the end of both of them, which was most. Then Devin Booker legacy game, but only hit 2 threes because he went 2 for 8. So incredibly close on every single one, but that's why we have today.
Close but no cigar, folks. Close but no cigar. And yes, good point from chat. Happy belated birthday to Lamar Jackson. W's. Appreciate that, Nikki Gambles. Great call on the Lightning in the game script, Jovan from Hoffy. Although you did not make it to the game, Jovan, great call on that game.
I was so mad. So mad that I wasted a good game script call when I wasn't able to go to the game, dude. Yeah, I would have been drowning in units.
Yep. 100%. 100%. Go Irish tomorrow. We got this. Yeah, the boys are excited for the Irish game tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a moment. We got a lot to go over today, Jovan. We got a loaded college basketball slate once again. We're blessed. We got a lot of great games. And we got some solid games in the NHL and NBA as well that we're going to get to later today. Do we have a minute for me to bitch about something before we get into the winners for Wednesday nights? Ooh, TNT 2-piece as well. I'm being told we got to gas that up and go over that recap first before we do the steamed crabs. Jovan, great work on the TNT 2-piece. Let's fucking go. Again, we cashed it.
Somehow, some way, it was air. I'll be honest. Look, I felt very odd putting Dinwiddie in that slip because he is known seller of coin, but he dropped meat and it was free, dude.
He's just a shitty human too, so yeah. Typically don't like taking him. But great call and great TNT 2-piece once again. I don't know what we did to deserve the TNT 2-piece is cashing at an alarming rate. But sometimes good things happen to good people. And that's what I like to say. We might not deserve it. We might not be the biggest NBA sharps, I guess is my point. But we're locking in. We're finding winners, and we're cashing TNT 2-pieces. So, look, let's keep cashing them, and we'll run it back again on Tuesday. Okay?
Sure.
Now can I bitch about something for a little bit?
Yeah. Now get after it.
Good to see you run that shit. Well, Jovan, you were talking about Devin Booker and him going 2 for 8 from 3. Yep, that cost us some coins last night from that lineup we crafted up on stream. Was not the only lineup, though, that cost us coins. The Sharp Report 4-man, I believe, also lost. And we had Misi in a lineup that I crafted up as well, Jovan. My guy Misi, his rebounds hooked too. So 2 lineups, 2 10Xers that lost by one fucking guy. And not just one guy, but 2 hooks. We got Misi 1 rebound away from greatness, and we've got Devin Booker 1 3 away from greatness. You can't make it up. We were so close. It's literally that fucking meme of the guy ice picking or picking away at the ground, and the diamond's right there. He turns around. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. We're going to hit one of these today. But, man, we got so close yesterday, Jovan. That one hurt. 2 of those lineups.
Yeah. A lot of hooks hurt yesterday. But thankfully, hopefully we're getting to the end of that little pickaxe meme. And we're right at the end, so break through all the hooks today.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up, okay? Gosh, man, Misi. I thought we were going to get it. I thought we were going to get 10 boards from Misi, but that's what you get for betting on the Pelicans in general.
I feel like Misi's sneakily your guy. I feel like
I really am. I'm a Misi guy. We don't talk about it enough. I like to take his squares. I sneak him in lineups all the time. I don't know what it is about him. He shows up. He does work, lunch pail type, and nobody believed in the guy. Turned out to be a pretty darn good center in the NBA so far. Sure, he could probably get blown over by a gust of wind. The guy's 200 pounds, but 7'5", right? He's like a fucking stick, slender man, but he's a beast. And typically he's, respecting coins, at least when I take him. Not last night, but God, 1 rebound away. Misi, bro, so close to greatness.
How did we get to Bam less than free throws? Where did that come from?
Well,
It was
Yeah,
the
that
greatest
was just
chart
a
of all time. I saw
good
that.
old-fashioned greened out chart. Yeah, I'm sure Jovan peeped it.
Yeah.
It was a completely greened out chart, Gucci, and he actually didn't hit a single free throw last night. So
Yeah, fire.
that's actually incredible. That was an incredible square that was wasted. I mean, that lineup was great. Gabe Madsen coming through. Shout out Jovan there for planting that seed in my heads. Condon came through for Florida. That was an easy square. And shout out Florida once again for just mucking yesterday, taking care of business. I know every sharp on earth had that in something yesterday. The Gators came through. Maybe times are changing. Maybe the tides are finally shifting, Jovan. Maybe some of these sharp plays are going to start falling down and helping us cash here a little bit. Maybe the year of the square is finally coming to an end.
Shout out Iowa, too.
What's up? Yeah, Iowa and
Yeah.
OT. You're right. And they covered those sons of guns.
I ended up bozo packing Florida with Iowa instead of going all the way Sunday.
Ooh.
So
Let's
that
go.
was sweaty, but
And
shout out.
that was a
Very
big
sweaty.
brain genius move from Gucci. So great work once again. Wouldn't expect anything less. What else, Chad, are we missing? The Vols did not show up. Josh, you're right. They're still a good squad, though. Wouldn't be too stressed. What else am I missing from yesterday, chat? Anything? Akron late piece. They end up winning or no?
I would assume so, if you're saying it.
Yeah, it's got to be. All right. W's. Let's go ahead and move in groove chat. Let's get involved and talk about, Wyoming. They fucked us last night. God damn it. I forgot about that one. Late night. Wyoming was covering the entire game. Shit, they were winning some of that game as well, and they melted and blew it late. That one stung, and it ended up going 5-5 yesterday, chat. So, yes, that one hurt. W recap, W transparency. Texas Tech,
Sure.
yes, they mucked. Houston narrative as well. Yep. Great call.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep betting that. Which that one I didn't bet just because of the Houston thing, but I kind of wanted to bet them anyway and found another reason to. But yeah, I'm gonna keep a close eye on that. And TCU's next up, unfortunately. So probably gonna be fading.
Brutal. All right. Well, enough bitching about yesterday's plays or hooks or recaps. Let's hop in, and I'll spare you guys from talking about this VT Stanford basketball game tonight. Really good game on ACC Network, but we'll groove. We'll talk about the Sharp Report plays. Gucci, why don't we hop into it and talk about some winners that we like for today? You guys knew this play was popping up at some point, whether it's for me or Jovan. I'm taking Villanova. I'm taking Nova at home against UConn, and I'm fading big and bad Coach Hurley and the Huskies here on the roads. Villanova's kind of solid. I know UConn has been kind of shaky so far this season, but overall, they've been fine, and their record shows that as well. They're ranked 9 right now. They're 12-3. It seems like those hiccups earlier on this season are over, right? At least to the public minds. Villanova, I've been very impressed with what they're doing, Jovan. Eric Dixon, obviously a stud, and he's going to carry this offense once again today. He's averaging like 25 points a game. And he's one of those guys that I'm just not fading on PrizePicks. You just take that guy and go about your day because he's probably going to carry his offense and put up 25 points every single game. He probably does it again against UConn again today. And I think he carries his team at home to a big-time upset, although it wouldn't be an upset based on the lines. But based on the scenario, it's 100% an upset against UConn here at home. I'm not ready to say Villanova's back, but I'm very impressed with how they've looked recently. And at home, that's still a really tough place to play. I think this UConn team, although they've looked like they're back on track of late, Jovan, I still feel like they're missing a couple pieces, and they're not as dominant as they have been in recent years when they've gone on to win the Natty. I'll take my chances with Eric Dixon and Villanova here at home, looking like one of the sharper plays of the day, moving from a pick'em, or even some books had UConn as a short favorite opening up, to now Villanova being a favorite at home here in the spot, and I'll lay the M out.
Yeah, won't hear any argument from me looking at that game. So I'm in on that.
Backing Nova after a 40-point win, eh? Yep, I am. When they're playing UConn, big and bad, 9th-ranked UConn, those cancel out. We got DeRaffi coming in, dropping a subby. Let's go DeRaffi. We got Rye DW coming in, resubbing as well with Prime. Love to see that. You guys all have a free subby with Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you guys all get a free subby. You can cash in 1 per year. If you have not used that already, you might want to think about using it on the Bookit Sports Twitch. Okay? Krabs looking like Dr. Evil in his new lair. Sure. Crafting up some winners.
Every sell job hits a little differently if he's sitting in there. It looks like you're giving a State of the Union.
Yes. President Crab. Love that. Can we talk about Tennessee? Nah, Matt, we're not going to talk about them. They're going to be fine. But we can talk about Villanova, and they're coming through in a sharp spot today. That I know. Jovan, are you taking this with me? Or are you a little sketched out? Twitter POD?
I mean, I'm definitely a little sketched out, not because I don't like to play. I'm going to take it with you, but I'll tell you why. Maybe I'm a little sketched out because I think these might go 1-1. If we want to go flip-flop plays and go back and forth.
What do you got?
The other very obviously looking sharp play on the board is Miami, and I'm taking them. So we'll see how it ends up. Maybe they go 1-1. It's not really for the fact that they're just favored in this game, and they've been on a ridiculous streak. They've been bad all season, but even since Larinaga's been gone, they have been absolutely pitiful, losing to your Hokies, which unexcusable or inexcusable loss. They were terrible in that game. But the thing about like Miami, they are a really bad, I don't know, the perimeter defense is bad. They don't really switch often enough. There's a lot of defensive, communication issues, which is why so many teams are able to score at them whenever they want. The thing about FSU, though, year in and year out, and this year is no different, they're a football team. So they want to go and run to the rim. They have a lot of size. They have a lot of athleticism. They don't have much shooting. They just want to get to the rim on you and get to the free throw line when they can, even though they're not the best free throw shooting team. It's not the best way to attack Miami. Yeah, I mean, like it's smart. It's smart in the way that, you do it with the guys that you have. They don't really have any other choice. But like, if you want to beat Miami, not saying it's been too difficult for a lot of these teams, but a lot of these teams have been doing it with very balanced attacks. The shooters kind of spread them out, and that kind of leads to the defensive issues. When you're a little more one-dimensional, like FSU is, and they're going to be every year, but especially this year and in this game, I don't think that's the best matchup for a team against Miami. And I'm not saying that Miami is this big bad horse to be afraid of necessarily, because obviously they're not. But if there's any team that matchup-wise Miami can hang with, I think it's FSU. It's a team that is not going to shoot over the top very much. It's a team that is going to turn the ball over nearly as much as you. So it kind of cancels out those issues. It's a team that can play in transition, but it hasn't been nearly as good as past years because they don't have the same level of athletes and in transition, so it hasn't been nearly as good. They haven't put up the same amount of points, all that. So I think this is the spot. It's not just a leered line play necessarily, even though it appears like that, but I like the matchup for them too.
Well, Florida State's had their number of late. They've beaten them 4 of the last 5 times. So maybe Miami gets their lick back. I mean, after a loss to Virginia Tech, you got to go back to the drawing board and hit the reset button, and maybe that's the time to back them, right?
Bottom of the barrel right there.
It doesn't get worse. It doesn't get worse after losing that game. Gosh, man. It's got to get better for the Hurricanes. We were talking about it, Jovan, probably before you got in the BTL call before the show, but me and Goots were talking about it. He said, no way I'm fucking betting on that game or watching that game. Yeah, but it's the right sides. Back in the Hurricanes here. I mean, why the hell are they favorites? We're about to find out when they win this game and win their first ACC game all season. I'm in.
Yeah. Man.
Nasty. God, 4-10 Miami is favorites against 10-4 Florida State, who's owned them of late. I bet. All right. Well, what else you got since we're on your plays here? You want to talk about ECU?
Yeah, I like ECU. Another, I guess, maybe it appears a little odd that they're catching steam and up to, 3 in this game. I wouldn't say it is. I think it's a coin flip game, but, like South Alabama is one of those sneaky defensive teams at the rim. And I think they were number 1 at the time of the TCU game. That was a couple weeks ago, but I assume they're still up there. One of the teams that's also been right up there with them this year and is still, I think, ranked 2nd in the country is sneakily ECU. So they've had a couple of games. Like if you look at their schedule, they're a very matchup dependent team. So like you can look and go through. They've lost to some teams they shouldn't have lost to, i.e. USF, Gardner-Webb, Northern Alabama, but like they've also played up and beat a lot of these teams. And what do a lot of these teams that they beat do, regardless of their skill level? They rely on getting to the rim. So similar, I guess, kind of angle as Miami FSU, except it's a little different because, Temple's not a football team, but they're a smaller team that likes to get to the rim a lot, and they're very undersized. Like Settle is fantastic, but other than that, they have a freshman big man who's not very physical, and they have a couple small guards that if you want to drive past them, you can, which is exactly what East Carolina is going to do. And they're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country and certainly in that conference as well. So I think they're going to overpower them. I think it's a really bad matchup for Temple, and the size difference outside of Settle is pretty drastic across the court. So I think they're going to be more physical than them too. So give me ECU minus the points, and I think this will be a dogfight for a while. Pull away in the second half.
All right. Fading big and bad Temple this year. Revamped Temple. We've got some pretty cool pieces.
Not betting on games, Temple.
Apparently. Well, you'd think after they get caught.
As far as we know.
You'd think after they get caught and they get a whole new team, they probably wouldn't be still betting on themselves. Let's hope. Okay, or let's at least hope they're throwing the game tonight if they're playing ECU and you're locking in the Pirates. Okay?
Yeah, maybe they faded themselves. That'd be nice.
Who knows, man, at this point. And then you got George Mason up there. Love to see that.
Yeah, the GOATs.
Back in the Patriots.
Yeah, I would say pretty fat line. I know they're coming off of a really disastrous offensive performance outside of your guy Darius Maddox, who's been goated, but
he's really good.
Didn't even cross 60 against Rhode Island. Rhode Island's been really good though. Don't get me wrong, but kind of felt like that was their game to go on the road and make a statement and play up and beat a team in the A-10, but they didn't do it. Kind of fell flat on their face. Got defensively dominated. So now you get a perfect chance to bounce back against a Richmond team who has been, I don't know, I would say a little better. You know the conference a little better than I did, but I expected them to fall a little flatter coming into conference play after the way that we saw them, I don't know, compete in some of the non-conference games. They lost a game to William and Mary, giving up 93. I think we talked about that game when that actually happened. But, they got a good win over GW to start conference play, beat UMass on the road, so they're coming off of those 2 wins. I think this line is pretty telling, sitting at 13.5, and I love George Mason, and I love that team. But again, I think they're more physical than Richmond. I think this is a spot where Richmond's going to be in an absolute bag on defense. And I'm looking at the total that continues to move down from 132 to 130.5, and it's probably going to keep getting lower. This feels like a George Mason defensive masterclass, and I know they've played a dogfight on defense with Rhode Island. It kind of feels like you get another one. And I think their offense will be a little better in this one, to say the least.
I'm down. Back in Coach Skin and the Patriots, laying a big old number against the Spiders, who, they don't look good this season, but they're coming off of 2 big-time wins when nobody expected it. So this is the perfect time to fade. And yes, that is a big number for an A-10 game. Love this play. Great font. Great font. All right, let's keep moving and grooving, or let's flip it back to my 2 plays here, Gootsy. South Carolina, I'm taking the Gamecocks tonight, getting 10 points, I believe. South Carolina is in this spot. I'm backing them at home against Bama. What have we been saying all season about this Bama team? They're good, but they're just not as elite or as great as people are seeing, right? They're not the best team in the country. Their last 3 games, they've looked like the best team in the country, that's for sure. They've ripped off, a bunch of wins in a row. They've covered their last 3 games against Kent State, South Dakota State, and Oklahoma, all by big margins. South Carolina, on the other hand, they were on fire, but they're coming off a bad loss to Mississippi State, where they lost by, I think, 30 points in that game, 35 points. Embarrassing game. They only put up 50 points in that contest. This is the perfect bounce-back spot to take South Carolina at home against an Alabama team that's good, but I just think they're a little bit fat, happy, complacent, and South Carolina coming off that bad loss, they keep this game within double digits in SEC play. Don't sleep on the Gamecocks. On the gridiron or on the hardwood, this team is legit.
Yeah, this could be a gritty game. Definitely love fading Alabama off of that big-time Oklahoma game. That
has to be done.
As questionable as I think Alabama might be going forward in the SEC as far as the top teams go. That was a damn good performance. I watched the majority of that game against Oklahoma.
Yeah, they balled, and now we have to fade. Legally obligated. Chat's asking, is Nigel Pack back today? He's questionable.
He's still not going to play. But
yeah, he's questionable. And CBB, you got to just assume he's not going to play until you see him back out there, right?
Yeah.
If he does, I won't get an update.
Great. I'll buy that.
Sure. Speaking of a big number in the A-10 game, how about VCU? VCU against Fordham, that's a large number. Fordham's coming off of 2 bad losses. But, I wouldn't tell you to bet Fordham. That's for sure. I'd say you lay it with VCU. That's also a very big number as well. Okay. One more play on the books here from me in college basketball. I'm going with Kansas. Sorry, Gootsy. Fading Arizona State in this spot. Arizona State's Goots actually filled me in on a pretty cool nug. Arizona State 2-0 against Kansas the last 2 times they played them. Pretty surprising, but Hurley's actually had Self's number the 2 times they played, but those games were years ago. This is the first time they played in this conference, obviously. And Kansas, talk about laying a big number against a really good Arizona State squad that's 10-3, Jovan, and looking like they're a borderline ranked squads. We're seeing Kansas get steamed up from -12.5 to -14.5 against the Sun Devils in this game. And Kansas has dropped 2 games in their last 5. I know they're coming off that big win in their last contest finally, but overall, they've not played, as great as people expected so far this season. But I think at home in this contest against the Sun Devils, who are very young and missing one of their better players, one of their freshmen is out in this game, I'm going to fade Arizona State and looking at that steam, and I'm going to back Kansas laying a big old number against the Sun Devils at home.
Yeah, this one has my brain in a pretzel because it does look pretty similar to like Duke Pitt yesterday, which I'm mad I didn't get myself to the counter with Duke there. But I mean, it's a team who beat them last year, hanging a big number. They've been playing well recently, and what do you know? I don't even think Pitt scored 50 points or 60 points, or they got put in the bag and absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
It looks pretty similar. My one concern was it's really hard to get 2 absolute drubbings in a row in the Big 12, and Kansas is coming off of, I think, the biggest margin victory in like the last 8 years. The stat was in the Big 12, beat UCF by almost 50,
99 to 48.
50, so 51.
Sheesh.
That was what kind of kept me off. But I mean, you couldn't pay me to bet ASU in that game.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors in this game. I mean, the students aren't there at Allen Fieldhouse, so who knows how loud it'll be. ASU's freshman's questionable, Sannon. So I mean, I don't know.
There's a lot going on.
Someone who watches every single ASU game, I think this is a Hurley sleepy spot. I like it, Krabs.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. This is also like their first real, I'm going to call it first real Big 12 game because their first 2 were Colorado and BYU. And it was at home and on the road against BYU. So it's still Mountain West Pac-12 country. So this is the first time they're going in. So, I mean, I could get down with that.
We got a ball nowhere in chat. I am the Lickers saying Remy Martin buried them twice and then he transferred to Kansas. Yes, that's actually awesome. People forget Remy Martin was an absolute beast for Arizona State, and then he transferred to Kansas and carried them. Although I don't know how well he played. He was like all up and down that season for Kansas, but a great college basketball player. Great name, Remy Martin. We got Moose2727 coming in, resubbing. Need some NBA props tonight. People are starving for NBA props or NBA PrizePicks squares. Do you guys want us to run back an NBA lineup for tonight? I saw you guys yapping about it earlier. We were talking about the TNT 2-piece. Do you guys want us to try to run back an NBA lineup for tonight? Let us know. I'm assuming we're going to see some yeses. Yep, they're already coming in. All right, we can spend some time on the NBA. Jovan, I feel like the people want it. If they want it, we'll give it to them, right? We are men of the people. We can craft up a little lineup in the NBA. But first, let's talk about our PrizePicks squares in the Sharp Report. We might even have some NBA involvements in those. Jovan, you want to get us kicked out? Want to get us kicked off here?
Yours are up here.
Oof.
Whoa. I didn't even see a Trent Minor goals allowed square. You know, this is his NHL debut, Krabs.
Oh, sure. Well, great. I'm fading him in his debut. Well, I didn't know it was his debut, but I did know it was one of his first couple games. And I'll tell you what, he's playing against the Blackhawks, and that total opened up at 6.5, and that under was super juicy. Now we're seeing that over super juicy. We're about to see some 7s popping up. So there are going to be some goals in this game. But I thought Colorado should have been, more of a favorite on the ML. They're only minus 230 in this game. They've been on fire of late. They're starting to look like the old Avs. They're playing a terrible Blackhawks team. Shouldn't they be laying 3 in this game? I thought that was weird. The odds were, relatively close, and the Blackhawks are only getting plus 200 here. I thought maybe we get some goals from the Blackhawks at home in this one. Maybe the overhits, and maybe the rookie doesn't look so sharp in his debut.
Yeah, it's tough to say after what the whole situation was his debut, but I wouldn't be against it. Definitely weird seeing any goals allowed squares against the Blackhawks or any team that's that bad offensively up.
The Raffy, bro. Come on. We got to be better than that in chat. Kelly Oubre against his former team tonight. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else that needs to be said?
I figured that square was going to be on your card. I'm glad it is.
We got Kelly Oubre up there. He's been terrible of late, especially from 3, and he's got a 1.5 extremely redded out chart, and he's also minus 120 on the books to bang 2 threes in a game with plenty of points, in a game with revenge on his mind. Kelly Oubre, probably a very petty motherfucker if I had to guess. I'm assuming he's going to want to ball out against his former team tonight.
Probably safe to say. It's not like they're
if I
not going to give him all the chance in the world to do it too, because I kind of like points in that game too, and the Wizards' defense goes without speaking, even though they're a lot worse at the rim than 3, but same I think applies.
Yeah, total in that game, I wouldn't say it opened up as high as I thought, but I mean, there haven't been a ton of points in these Philly games of late. We know they have some injuries as well.
Because they're super short-handed. Yeah.
Yeah. Total's on the way up though, up to 221.5. So I think Kelly Oubre probably balling against his former team tonight at home in his, his comfortable new arena out there in Philly. Right. All right. What are you crafting up on Prize Picks for tonight? Timeout. Hold on. Timeout. We got Sebernat's nasty square. I got to go ahead and put it in the bank. Anthony Simons, threes made square. Green is Ma from Sebernat. Okay, let me go ahead and put that in the bank. Jovan, tell me about your 2 Prize Pick squares you got today.
Taking it to your guy in Ole Miss today, Sean Padula. Awesome. He gets to play, and I promise I'm not chart hunting with both of these squares.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Both the charts are actually absurd. Sean Padula, one of those guys, which I guess these charts have been hitting if you're talking about the college 3-point squares, the guys that are very consistently sitting at 1 and have a very steady volume floor and ceiling, and then they get to play a team like Arkansas, where if you have any sort of paint presence, they're crashing in the paint, and the spot-up shooters have plenty of time to do whatever they want. Sean Padula can be one of those spot-up shooters. They'll put him on the ball, too, when he's bringing it up the court and he's playing point guard for a little bit of the game, but he's been kind of thriving in the spot-up roles, and I feel like this is a situation where they need it because we see the line in that game, Arkansas's favor. They're unranked against a ranked team, sure. They're on their home court, sure. SEC home teams have been absolutely grubbing, whether the line's weird or whether the line's not. Arkansas is very athletic, and I think they're going to be able to stop what Ole Miss does in the paint. So spot-up shooters are going to have to do their thing, so I think that Padula volume can only go up, and it's a great matchup to do it. So reason the square's up, reason it's priced like it is, Sean Padula is making 2, then Kate assist. Has to be done. Take a look at that chart, Krabs. And I think it's a red chart for a definite reason. The matchup, and obviously there's a little shorthanded nature of the Pistons team right now. There's no Ivy, which is great. There's also no Thompson in the lineup today, which is great for spacing reasons, but you also get to play a Nets team that absolutely farms catch and shoot opportunities. So like if you play a team that's a little better in the pull-up department against Cade Cunningham, you stop at least when he wants to play hero ball for the most part, kind of his shot volume, especially when he wants to pull up again and play hero ball, goes down a little bit, and you space it out to the shooters, whether that ends up being the actual game where Malik Beasley cashes everybody on Twitter because everybody takes his threes every single game or his points every single game, and he's coming off of a generational sell job, whether it's him, whether it's Fontecchio off the bench, whether it's any of those guys. If you're a spot-up shooter on the Pistons today, you're catching passes from Cade Cunningham, you're going to be open, and you're going to hit them. That's the nature of the matchup. So there's a reason why the chart's red. The reason why it's up, obviously, it's because you couldn't get a better matchup. I love that he's coming off a hero ball game, but that was also more of a hero ball matchup for him. He's getting 10.
Well, I just locked in the sharp report for man while you're giving that sell job. I want to make sure we're not getting any bumpages going on mid-show. I'll drop the link to that in the Twitch chat if you guys want to tail. The link has been dropped. Okay, get involved. Sean Padula, yeah, he's probably banging 2 threes, but they're not winning that game. I'm in. And Cade Cunningham assists. Yep, looking at that chart. Sign me up. Got no other comments. Love it. Check Denny Block on Prize Picks. See, that's where you lose me on those block squares. That's where you lose me in chat. Oh. You like it, Jovan?
I wasn't saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying I've been sneakily keeping an eye on some of those. Some of the weird charts have been kind of paying recently.
So I shouldn't rule it out.
Don't rule it out. Don't be fully in, but don't rule it out either.
There is a completely redded out Denny Avdia block square up on Prize Picks. I'm looking at it right now. There is.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. That's why I brought it up.
I just don't know how you cap blocks.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough, unless you're Wemby.
How you capping that? All right. Well, W Prize Pick Squares, Sean Padula and Cade Cunningham, sure. Sign me up. I'm in. Why are you mad? I'm mad because Sean Padula used to be on the Hokies, Captain Slim, if you couldn't tell. and he left the team for dead. He didn't give a hoot. He could have been a star. Him and Poteet could have been Shaq and Kobe Bryant. Literally.
There's no way we're comparing Poteet to Shaq.
Look at his stats. Yeah. He's been Shaq this year.
That's disrespect to Celtic Shaq.
Look at Poteet's stats this season. He's unbelievable. Let me look him up. Poteet's averaging 11 points per game. Okay, not as good as I thought they'd be. All right. Well, he's coming off a 25-point performance, so maybe I was a little bit skewed there from that Miami game. 11 points per game, 4 rebounds per game. Yeah, maybe not Shaq. Maybe Celtic Shaq, like Goots is saying. Okay. Yeah. Well,
maybe Syracuse Eddie Lampkin.
Hey, he balled last night. Can't
deny
it. He did. He had a hell of a game. Are you watching that? He tweaked.
Yeah, I call like the second or most of the second half of it. Had it on the 4 box.
Seaburnat, we're taking that Anthony Simon square. Don't you worry. Why don't we get into the NBA lab right now and cut the shit? If you guys are all dropping NBA squares in the chat, if that's what you guys want, why don't we hop into it and see if we can craft up a nasty lineup here? It probably starts with Anthony Simon's less than 3.5 3-pointers made. And for now, it might start with Denny Avdia, more than half a block shot as well. Okay. We can start with those. A couple other chats that I will entertain here. Fat Girl's coming in. Can I interest you guys in some Jamal Murray porkage? Check his field goals attempted, 3 points attempted, and field goals made. Jovan, any thoughts on Jamal Murray tonight?
Jamal Murray. Let me take a look at some of those squares against the Clippers. He might be pork. He just might be pork.
His point square looks good.
3s attempted is very interesting looking square that I'm sure you would like to see. I guess his regular field goals attempted too is right up there.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, all of his squares.
Yeah.
They're red as mouth. They're red as mouth. Huh. Do we just take his 3 points attempted and go about our day here? We don't even need the results.
Could be.
What I'm eyeing. That's a good find, Fat Girls. I like that find in chat. Good work. Can I interest you in Cason Wallace block? See, we can't do 2 blocks. We cannot do. But we could take a look at it. I'm also not even seeing that square up on the board. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to take that square if it's not up. According to Twitter, RJ is turning into prime Mello in the Garden tonight. Huh.
Yeah, it's to be expected. Popular narrative against his former team. Understandable.
What about Jalen Williams? He's got a Reddit out chart. He's pretty popular today, but very Reds. Any thoughts on that? That's probably the game of the day, right?
Game of the day. And I like the Cavs in that game. I'm going to be taking them, side note. But
okay,
I don't know. That's my basketball brain's not letting me get to take that over, because a lot of the reason I like the Cavs is because whether it's Jalen Williams or SGA or a lot of those guys, the Thunder are obsessed with the mid-range, and the Cavs are very good at stopping that. So not that he can't get points other ways, but that's holding me back from taking that square.
I was going to suggest Donovan or fading Garland. I think it might be a Donovan game.
Ooh,
it could be.
You see those pictures on Twitter, Gates? Is that why?
The pictures are crazy.
I haven't seen. Well, I saw Trent's quote tweet. Yes, that is not the reason that I'm suggesting this square.
Okay.
I think he slipped up. That's the reason.
No, I won't be watching this game tonight. The NBA is a terrible product.
Could it have been subconscious, Gates? Out of respect.
Subconscious, dude.
Just out of respect. Okay. Maybe. Could have been. Darius Garland day. Fading him.
I mean, if we're taking anything on or in that game period, I don't know how it might not just be Jared Allen. I mean, big men, I know they have Hartenstein now, but big men against the Thunder has not really been any less of an issue for talking about rebounds. And I've been seeing people bitch nonstop about Jared Allen getting benched at really random times, and in this game against the Thunder, when he's one of your biggest advantages on the boards and physically, I would assume probably people are not going to be bitching tonight.
I know the problem is they got like 7 centers on that team. You know,
I don't know that matters for this matchup though, because like Mobley, I can guarantee you is going to have to be out on the perimeter quite a bit, so that's going to be how they want to play him.
Huh?
Allen's going to be posted.
Chat's splooging for Mobley, which means he's about to have the first ever 0-point game, probably.
Yeah, I've seen that on the feed a little bit. I disagree. I think it's going to be Jared Allen primarily. I don't think you're running Mobley at the 5 in this game because that takes away your biggest edge if you're the Cavs.
Forced. Get that game out of here. I got 3 squares in here that I like. Anthony Simons, less than 3s. Denny Avdia, more than half a block. Jamal Murray, more than 6.5 3-points attempted. Okay, let's take a step back here. I want to force. Are there any other squares from chat that want to throw their hats in the ring here as we get some subbies coming in? Nerfy Chad coming in, resubbing. We got New Tezzy coming in, resubbing. Let's go, New Tezzy. 37 months. Jeesh. It's a long-ass time, bro. We appreciate you. Miles Turner 3s against the Bulls. Again, it's just not up on PrizePicks, but that's okay. Shaden Sharp PR. I like me some Shaden Sharp.
Always like some Shaden Sharp action.
You like points in that game?
Wouldn't say I love them.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
I'm not loving those Shaden Sharp squares, I'll be honest with you. We could go Jalen Williams. I don't love that, though, because Jovan likes the Cavs. Malik Beasley 3s.
I was looking for that. That might have gotten taken down.
Oh, well, it's back up now. Whoa.
Who it is.
Hey, now. Look at that square.
Oh, I've seen that square.
Malik Beasley, 3.5 3-pointers made. The guy's hit 3 threes in his last, well, he did have a 6-piece, but besides that, he's been moose.
Yeah, and he is in every single Twitter Capper Lotto slip, every single game, Krabs. And he was last night, or last game, and he went like 1 for a billion.
That I like. It might just be Malik Beasley day.
Might have to. I mean, it's
check some odds.
W correlation for Kate assists, but could be a lot of options. Wow, Fettuccine's also up. Could be goated.
He's over 3.5 minus 120 on the books.
Is it really?
Yeah, for Malik Beasley.
Wow.
Yep.
That means it's on the rise because I saw some plus 100s earlier.
We're taking that.
That's why it got taken down for a bit. And now it's back up in juicier, which is nice.
Guys, I'll be honest. I think this is a 4-piece. It's smacking. We got Anthony Simons, less than 3s. We got Denny Avdia, more than half a block. Jamal Murray, more than 6.5 3-pointers attempted. And Malik Beasley, 3-pointers made.
You might be in the
Do you
lab
want to pivot?
Krabs.
Do you want to pivot Jamal Murray and take anything else for him instead of his 3 points attempted? I want to make sure we circle back to that.
It's a good circle back from you. Just trying to think because I assume Jokic is going to be playing, but I guess we don't really know that for sure yet. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but trying to think of what the fallout would be if he doesn't end up playing.
Let me find the answers for that question. Game time decision. Won't play Tuesday. We already knew that. He's sick. He attempted to go through pregame warm-ups. Couldn't do it. Interesting. I mean, that's a major factor as to why this square is so high as well, if they're thinking he's not playing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's probably part of it, but like they also have Jokic squares up. So I would assume that would have to be factored in.
You think we just take like his fantasy score or his points or something? You're saying more big picture here?
If we think he's chucking, you're telling me he's not getting an offensive rebound?
Dude.
Come on.
Dude.
He's going to get a long rebound off of 3. Coming right back to him. I mean, they don't follow their shots in the NBA anyways, so who knows? But
yeah, you think Jamal Murray's getting to the rack after a 3-point attempt, Goots? Have you watched an NBA game this year? Come on.
Weird square, just saying.
It's a weird square. I'll give you that. Maybe it's just his field goal. His field goals attempted.
Could be. He could be prime pork.
And
How
just
the hell
keep
does he
it
end up
big
with
picture.
17 on the dot so often?
And just give it keep a big picture here and just have him go, 17 and a half field goals attempted. Maybe it's threes, maybe it's not.
Yeah. How about some pork?
Fat Girl said he's going with 3 points attempted. Okay. Fat Girls.
Maybe we trust Fat Girls in the Big 2-5.
Am I getting too cute here? We stick with the threes attempted, 6.5.
Maybe we stick with it. Stick with it.
We got a lot of threes in this. Let's hope there's a lot of threes tonight. All right. Just take Lamar Jackson 5 and call it a day. What does that even mean? PrizePicks.
Goots.
What does that mean?
Honest burners with PrizePicks.
It means Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, 5 touchdowns Saturday night.
Okay. Thank you for translating that. Good. All right, we'll stick with the threes because that's what Fat Girls is taking in chat. And yes, big news, breaking news. And no, it's not the big addition the Nats made by bringing over. I don't even remember his name because he's so fucking useless and this joke isn't even funny. But yeah, it's not the Nats signing. It's Martin Perez to the White Sox. Any thoughts on that, Jovan?
I mean, it's league breaking. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to start fading.
That's big news. Ahmed Rosario. Thank you, Matt. Yes.
Low key though.
Thank you, Matt.
White Sox rotation, kind of on the up and up, even though it's without Crochet. Random thought. But you know who's I think is going to be like really, really good this year?
Who?
The GOAT, Davis Martin.
What, dudes?
I think he's going to be so good.
No way. Are we already looking at fucking MLB squares for the season?
Who's the White Sox guy again? Javon Brooks Robinson. What's like his name? What was his name?
Brooks Robinson.
What? No, yeah, but he has a similar name, I'm pretty sure.
Was he not an Oriole? Brooks Robinson?
No, yes, he was, but his name is
the greatest
similar.
third baseman ever play the game.
I know you're talking about it's Brooks Baldwin, but like
there we go.
You're telling me we're that much in the O's lab right now, dude?
It just popped in my brain. All right, I was just wondering.
Unbelievable.
Chat, if you guys want to tail that 4-man that we just crafted up in the NBA, I just dropped the link. Okay.
And to answer your question, Krabs, yes, we're already not looking at squares because they don't have those up, but we're already in the lab, especially because Trent is at every single time that like there's a slight like dead in the action for any part of the day, like there's no NBA on or college football's taking a break or something, he's texting, bitching about goat whale squares of who he's going to put in because he's running out of goats, dude. He's like, he doesn't know what goats that he hasn't already had in the goat whale he can put in because he's already had all of them.
There's plenty of goats he can take. There's plenty of goats. There's no way he's running out of goats.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it's a fair concern because like he's had. There's not think about the goats he's had in the goat whale. Like he's had all of the best players in the MLB, and at some point, there's not very many that have been free.
Well, he might have to run some back. And some you're saying the bridges have been burned, right? He's taken some goats, they haven't treated him very well.
There's going to have to be a repeat offender for the most part.
Yeah, at least
it's
one.
Kind of weird, but Goots might be happy with one of my potential goat well squares. Say that.
Is it Adley?
Might be.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. He's going to be
that card, Gootsy.
on a different level this year.
He
better because he was not on a different level last year. And that was kind of part of the issue.
He was hurt for a little bit.
He was hurt all year.
Yeah,
he gets a pass. He's awesome.
It was a hand.
He gets a pass.
That's why he barely caught. He was always DH.
Yeah.
Well, hey, they probably should do that anyways. Keep him healthy. Keep him fresh.
Yeah, he might. He
might
be
have Gary Sanchez in the lineup every day, Krabs.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
Yeah,
I really hope so.
I would help him at the plate. You're right.
Yeah, I think Adley might have to be my Bobby for the year. But my goal right now is trying to find. I mean, we don't have the lines yet, but I'm trying to find my pitcher fade, and the number one name on the list right now is one of my favorite pitchers, which is kind of sad, but might have to be done.
Who are you thinking of fading?
A certain, I don't know if he was a finalist for Cy Young, but he was probably close, or at least probably should have been last year, and he laces him up in Great American Ballpark. So yeah, he's in the short list. He's on the short list. Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
He didn't even have better stats than Jake Irvin this year, and you think he's the Cy Young winner? Give me a break. I'm still pissed about him making the All-Star game over Jake Irvin.
He should have, Krabs.
Not by the stats.
That's crazy. What do you mean? By what stats, Krabs?
He had better numbers. Not more strikeouts, but he had better numbers.
Did he have?
More wins, better ERA at that point. He deserved it. He got snubbed.
What did Jake Irvin? Jake Irvin finished with a 4.41 ERA, Krabs.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about what he did in the second half of the season. Talking about first half, he got snubbed.
I'm staring at a 4.41 ERA compared to Hunter Green's.
Yeah, but look at the first half. Look at the first half.
2.75, Krabs.
First half ERA.
That is a run and a half. More than a run and a half difference we're talking about here.
Yeah, I'm talking about the first half of the season when he was literally prime Jacob deGrom. I got to pull up his fucking stats from last year. I might have to.
I know he was good. I was betting him, dude. I like
the guy had a 2.31 ERA at the end of June. He had a 2.31 ERA. He was unbelievable. That was one of the best ERAs in all of baseball at that point. That guy was unhittable. Ugh. And now he's just thrown away in the trash. Useless with that 4 ERA. We got Gents Club Sports coming in, resubbing for 8 months. Let's go, Gents Club. Sure we can. Sure we can. You guys want to talk about baseball anymore or what? People forget Krabs couldn't say hello to Finnegan's family at the All-Star game. Yeah, I mean, I remember that, Skywalker. That was a funny video.
That was hilarious.
Couldn't even fucking talk to him. Saw the entire Finnegan family, the kids, the Mimas, the Peepaws, all in the fucking Finnegan jerseys. I would have been the only Nats fan there at the All-Star game. If I went up to him, I could have gotten a picture. Could have talked to him for probably 5-10 minutes. Would have made their day. Going up to him, a Nats fan, giving him some respect. I'm standing there wearing a fucking Aaron Judge jersey. Like an idiot. For that punishment. Unbelievable. Oh. Yeah, we don't need to start talking about Zach Campbell just yet, Chad. We got a couple months.
Yeah,
okay?
not yet.
The love for baseball is wild.
Couple months before we get that first steam Krabs on something Zach Campbell does. That first whatever clip's gonna get him back in the intro. Those hit like crack. Not too long before that.
Chad, I like Villanova, but it's the Twitter POD, so act accordingly. I'm on it though. All right. W's. Well, we crafted up an NBA lineup. We talked some baseball. Sure. Jovan, is there anything on the ice that you want to talk about? I know there's not many games today. My Caps do play tonight at home against Vancouver. You got anything in these 4 games you like on the ice? I want to make sure we get our hockey people right.
Yeah, I really don't have too much. I mean, that Canucks Caps game, probably the easy answer of the day. I guess seems that way on paper. Like, I think it's going to be an under. A lot of the Caps games, they've been kind of playing to their opponent recently, but their offense has been great. I think this is kind of sneaky spot for them, though. I would not be surprised if the Canucks snuck one on the road here, but it would have to come with, I think, a really good defensive performance. So I like that under. I'm not going to bet against the Kings today, but I want to tell you this just so you have it in your head. I think this is their last home game for a bit, so maybe they come back to this, in a week or so, but they're on a ridiculous home winning streak. So it definitely does not help that they're getting the Flames with Vladar and net on a back-to-back. So, this is a game, they're fat favorites. They should win. But the next time we see them at home in a coin flip game, I will 100% be fading. So I'm hoping the Kings win this game. So the streak lives on through the road trip, and we can come back to this. But if they lose, even though it's Vladar, I wouldn't be shocked. And the fact that we have a 5.5 total with Vladar and net on a back-to-back is definitely a little strange. And it's kind of making me think he's not as bad as he usually is.
Are you thinking about fading the Kings here, or are you just gonna let that one play out?
I'll probably let it play out. If there was like a Vladar square on the board, I would probably get involved, but I don't think there is.
Okay.
There's something off because they're the biggest non-Avs favorite on the board, rightfully so, because they're on their. This would be 10 in a row, I think, at home, and the Flames are on a back-to-back. It just all looks really easy. I would not be surprised if people are sweating in that one, but I still think the Kings win. If it was Wolf, I'd be involved, but he started last night.
What about Florida and Utah? And before you give your answer, somebody in chat, we got a first-time chatter, my guy 2X. What was the Beasley play? It took Beasley more than 3.5 3-pointers made. Okay. Appreciate the first-time chat, my guy. Jovan, Florida or Utah? You think this line's a little short? Is Utah a live dog? What do you think?
Line's definitely a little short, but these are pretty typically the games that whenever it seems really sharp to fade the Panthers when they're on the road against a team that should not be plus 110, plus 120 against them, that's exactly the games they win. So I'm pretty nervous to get invested in that. It's like I don't necessarily want to take Utah. They have been really, really bad. And thankfully, the only game that I've bet them in recent memory happens to be that game that they beat the Flames 2 games ago when they were favored on the road. And that line was kind of weird. But with the Panthers coming off a big-time physical game loss against the Avs, even though they're on the road with a short line, I really don't want to fade them.
Okay. All right. I was looking at Emmanuel Quickly squares. Somebody in chat brought him up. I like Emmanuel Quickly squares, but I don't know if I love him enough to play. I like that 16.5 points, though, on PrizePicks if you're looking to play something. I like you.
That's kind of a Krabs angle, I guess, because the obsessive revenge angle is the other guy on the team that used to play on the Knicks, and that's the one that's all over Twitter. So
RJ Barrett?
What if it ends up being Quickly?
Huh. You'll look at Barrett squares. Not because I want to take him, but good. I wanted to see him have green charts, and he does. Okay. I'll go ahead and bank that Quickly square.
That's one to bank.
I kind of like his PRA because his assists and rebounds are kind of high as well.
Yeah.
Quickly more than 26 PRA. Just go ahead and leave that one in the bank for now. Okay. Oh, Fat Girls likes his PRA. No way that's his fucking POD is Quickly PRA. Okay.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Might need in the bank.
Might need it. All right. My SAR over going to be free. What did you take for SAR, Mogman? Let me know. Okay.
Yeah, because
Emmanuel Quickly.
Somebody was saying Jordan Poole just got reeled out in chat.
He did. Could it be SAR day? All those squares are gone. PrizePicks is smart now.
Probably come back up and bump.
All right. What about NBA? You got any other plays on the NBA board that you like? Any straight bets? Wizards ML on the red?
Wizards. I debated adding the Wizards plus the points of the card. Maybe I will now. Okay. No pool, but definitely taking the Cavs. Has to be done. Best game, one of the better games of the year. I'll take them at home. Let's lead the ML with them. And again, kind of a W matchup. The mid-range that SGA and Jalen Williams love. The Cavs are really good at defending. They have the size. They have the defense. They have everything. Total's really high, too, which, again, I'm talking about the Cavs defense a lot, but it's making me think the Thunder defense, which frankly has shown up in pretty big numbers in every single big game they've played, even like the ugly game, the NBA Cup against the Bucks. It was not their defense. That was not the reason why they lost that game. Same thing. I mean, they held the Celtics to under 90 points in their last game, or it was 92, just above 92. Making me think that the defense is not going to show up in the same waves against the Cavs today. So it's probably a reason why that total's gone up like 4 points since the open, which you don't see that very much from the Thunder in a big game against a big team. It almost always is getting steamed towards the under. So give me the Cavs.
Let's circle back to Jared Allen. I'm not done with him yet. Chat's asking if you were going to take a Jared Allen square, what would you take? Is it that rebound square, Jovan? 10.5?
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll pair that with Quickly, and we'll keep that in the queue. See if we find any others, or if Chad has any other plays. Now could be a good time to drop them. You can sift through them real quick. All right. What else in the NBA? Let me look at these games. You like the Cavs? All jokes aside, you like the Wiz Kids plus 10.5. They probably should be plus $1 million in that game. Probably should be fatter dogs.
It'll probably adjust a little bit without Poole. See where it moves, but
okay.
Still kind of want to take them.
All right. You think the Pelicans get their first win in a while, or actually they've gotten a couple wins? Excuse me.
Yeah,
but Zion came back last night. They lost. Do you think they get a win tonight? And is Zion even going to play? I can check that.
Yeah, I guess that's the big question mark. But I wouldn't mind taking the Pelicans. I feel like Zion being back while he is back, that's good news. I would love to buy for the Pelicans just for however long he actually ends up being in the lineup. So if he does play, might get involved.
Okay. All right. Clippers and Nuggets. Clippers getting some respect. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games, but they're favorites on the road against Denver. I'm assuming that's because of Jokic news, right?
Yeah. And I can already think that the Nuggets, if they do have Jokic back in, are going to trend to be a little more popular, and this line is going towards the Clippers, or going towards the Nuggets a little bit. So I assume he's probably playing, and no chance the Nuggets lose 2 in a row. Granted, Jokic is coming back today. It's probably going to be the Clippers when nobody wants them, but not running to that one either.
Do I even bring up the dog shit Spurs only getting 5 points on the road to the Bucks? Or do we just move?
I mean, you just know they're going to win, dude. You just know they're going to win.
Piece of shit.
I mean, this is like win. I mean, if there's any like super goat game on the board here, it's probably this one. Like, talked about it with the Bulls, and I mean, the Bulls 3-point shooting is not really the reason they came back in that game, but it was for a reason. Spurs 3-point defense has been really good recently, so all the Dames, all the AJ Greens, all the 3-point shooters for the Bucks are probably going to be relatively limited, and it's got to be Giannis driving to the hoop on Wemby pretty much the entirety of the game. So if there's a GOAT that I'm taking on the NBA slate as far as points go, it's definitely Giannis, and Wemby is going to be right back after him on the other side. So I mean, this is probably a game that Trent would look at, bet it for 1 second and come out with green, because it's also the ESPN game, which great game to see on there, because I think you're going to see him going back and forth.
You want to take Giannis points?
I mean, yeah.
30 and a half? Jesus.
Yeah, the last game they didn't really need him because the matchup didn't really call for it. I mean, which is why we took Dame, and then it was a blowout too. So all the starters didn't play for the entirety of the fourth quarter, but I mean, he still had 11 points. Probably the spot to get a big bounce back from that.
Look at this trend from Fat Girls in chat. Giannis, after scoring 15 or less the following game in his career, 54 points, 40 points, 37 points, 36 points last year only. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay. I'll go ahead and put that one in there with Jared Allen and Emmanuel quickly. Giannis points.
Sure.
All right. And Spurs probably do win that game, and the game soars over, and everybody's bets hit. And we won't be partaking because the Spurs fucked us last time. All right.
Of course.
All right. What about college basketball? Let's sift through some of those games for the next 15 minutes. God, it's a glorious day. Any day that your college basketball slate starts out with Army game and a Navy game, first 2 games of the day, you know you're going to have a good one. The only 2 6 p.m. Eastern starts, Loyola at Army and Navy at Holy Cross. And both spreads are very close. So 2 good games. Jovan, if I had to bet them, I'd take Army against Loyola coming off the big win for the Greyhounds. And I'd take Navy on the road plus 1.5 against Holy Cross, who's actually been kind of good this season so far. 9-6.
So, I mean, if you're not locking in the Army-Navy parlay, it'll be a real
no
shame.
No bias whatsoever in those picks.
No, not a bit of bias, huh?
Not a hair. All right, but I would go Army-Navy in those 2 games. Loyola Chicago, shout out Sister Jean, laying 2 points to LaSalle. I would lean Sister Jean here in the spot, coming off of 4 straight losses and catching some steam on the road in this game in Philly against LaSalle, who I just don't think is that good. Unfortunately, I would take Loyola Chicago in this one on the road as faves.
Yeah, I don't really got anything for you there.
All right, a little reminder for chat. I'm all over Villanova against UConn. Has to be done. I like DePaul plus 3 against Seton Hall, but it's not a crabby bet. The crabby bet in that game would be Seton Hall looking for their first win in a while. But I think that Seton Hall team might just be that bad. And DePaul is kind of taking a step back after a hot start for them. I think they get right, and them at plus chicken is a pretty good look when it comes to a side there in that game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right coming out of your mouth there, but
it does not.
You could be in the right headspace, letting the b-ball brain take over a bit.
Yep. You like George Mason against Richmond? Love that.
I do.
I like South Carolina against Bama. Drake versus Bradley. Really good game here. Would love to bet Bradley, but I can't. I honestly think the spot here is probably for Drake. I'm looking at that spread down to 1.5, 2 most places. Maybe Drake bounces back after back-to-back losses. Maybe the D2 Kings rise back up and they get back in the winning column here against Bradley. I'm not going to fade him. I think Bradley might be a team of destiny this season, but I would say I lean Drake, as much as I hate to say that. And fading Bradley today.
On a total in this game.
I'd say under.
Yeah.
Damn,
nasty under.
This game's so not fun because I want to take Bradley so bad. Now I can't, and I can't take the over. I got to root for the under, and the game won't allow me.
I know.
Shit.
Gates, I'm not gonna feed you cake intentionally.
I know.
Go with your gut, Gates. Go with your gut.
Yeah, worked in Michigan last night. Shout out.
Yeah, go with your gut. So happy Michigan won. Fuck Rav.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just Bradley team of destiny this season. I know you want to take them Goots and fade Drake. I wouldn't doubt you for it or blame you. Ole Miss, Arkansas. Although I do like that square, Jovan, I do think Arkansas wins that game. What do you think?
Kind of think they do too. I'm just I'm in a pickle, but I do like points in this game. I think at the very least, I'm very anti Ole Miss, so I'm trying to keep that out of the equation. I think the SEC is really good, but a couple of the teams that I think people think are a lot better than they actually are Ole Miss and Tennessee. And I said Ole Miss before the season. I'm saying Tennessee as the season progresses because they've been really good, but I think this is what starts their downfall. But for Ole Miss, I just think that the defense is not really there against a lot of these athletic teams, which Arkansas is. And I think we're going to see that tonight. So I think they're going to be able to score on them pretty much at will. I think the one spot where Ole Miss can keep up is on the offensive side of the court. So, I mean, I like points. I think this is the way you go about it. But I think that definitely aligns with Arkansas a lot too.
Yeah, I'm liking Arkansas. I'm going to play them in the spot. Favorites against a ranked Ole Miss team that just keeps taking my coins. See how it goes. Any other late night college basketball plays? Scrolling through the boards. You think Notre Dame pulls off an upset against NC State?
Yeah, I kind of think they do. I'm trying to keep my bias out of that one too, because I really, not for Notre Dame's sake, I really don't like NC State either. And Notre Dame is finally starting to get Burton back and get healthier. So a lot of these teams, I think, are going to be a little more confused with their style, which is what I like betting on, especially on the road, because that's when you get some value on them. So, yeah, I like the Irish.
What about the Bonnies versus St. Louis?
About that. What if Arkansas team total is just a system play because of the shoot-around comments? Goods could be in bag.
I mean, can Cal be any stupider? Like, you're playing the number one team in the nation, and you're not doing a shoot-around.
Optional shoot-around and nobody shows up?
I mean, He better lock in, man.
That's super weird. Super weird. St. Bonaventure versus St. Louis. I would lean the Billikens here in St. Louis, who have gotten back on track, at least minimally, with 2 wins in their last game after a tough stretch. I'd say you could fade the Bonnies in this spot. You could back St. Louis at home. Jovan, you got any thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I wouldn't be having anything against that really at all. I could get down.
Twitter POD is the Bonnies. That could be cake. I like St. Louis. Butler Providence. Are you going to lay it with Providence here at home against Butler? You know, let that one splooge.
I'll let it splooge. I'll let it splooge there.
Okay.
Cam is asking in chat, number team in the country. What? They did play the number 1 team in the country, which is what he's referring to. And they didn't have a shootout or a shoot around. That was a crazy comment from Cal before playing Tennessee. Just insane that was a real thing.
Yeah. I don't know about Coach Cal. What about Texas A&M and Oklahoma? No
Wade Taylor.
I'm blanking on his name, but no Wade Taylor for Texas A&M here. I still like the Aggies, though, kind of in the spot against Oklahoma, but not
kind of do too. And definitely a lot more. I mean, I'm not going to take him now. I probably was going to before. It's just Oklahoma. I feel like they're going to struggle. I felt like this before Wade Taylor. He's obviously not the biggest part of it, but like I love Oklahoma just when they play these physical teams that are going to really bully them on the boards. They're going to struggle a little bit. That's like the one big problem I have with the team. And like Texas A&M, with or without Wade Taylor, is going to do that. I guess the question becomes, if they need a bucket, who are they going to go to? Who's going to be reliable enough to bet on? And when Wade Taylor's not in the fold, I don't know that anybody is really that answer for them right now, but they're physical. And that's the problem for Oklahoma because they're a really good team. They got scores, a little more size than you think down low, but it's a matchup problem, I think.
You got Primer getting timed out in the chat? No way. Is that because he was talking about Oklahoma? Had to be. Yep. Yeah, Prime's got to be on Oklahoma in that one, if I had to guess.
Of course.
All right. What about Penn State, Illinois, late night? That spread's coming down a little bit. Shrinking.
Just a tad. I mean, that total is so high, Krabs. So
164.
high.
Jesus.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess, with both of these teams. But then you look at some of the lines they've both gotten recently, and they're not really sniffing this high. So, I mean, I saw this total immediately, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. Then I dove into it a little deeper, and I was like, you know what? That's awfully high. Like,
that's
significantly high. Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely let me think we get points. And if I'm backing one team to get points, I know they're coming off of two really good performances on the road. So, like, I don't want to be banking on Illinois personally. It's making me think Penn State kind of sticks in this game a little bit, and they do it with their offense. So, I want to take that over, nevertheless.
Yeah, I like the over. I like Penn State. All right. Yeah. UVA versus Cal. It's different Cal here, not Coach Cal, but Cal, the Bears. I mean, they're laying 4.5 to UVA. I know UVA is not great, but Cal's lost 3 games in a row. It's got to be Cal, and they're a pretty good parlay piece late night, if I could say so myself. I want to involve them somehow, some way.
Yeah, I mean, twist my arm, Krabs. Especially because Cal, the reason they're so frustrating to bet on, I mean, it's a couple different reasons, but they always start out strong. They're the greatest first half team of all time, the worst second half team of all time, but a lot of that comes because they can't guard a parked car. Probably not going to be an issue against UVA. And then they have 50 different ball handlers that can do everything. They're pretty versatile on offense, which is the good part about them. So I don't think they'll really be put in the box as much as, I don't know, a lot of these other teams against UVA. It's like, it's not saying they're going to go out there and score 80, but it's a decent little matchup for them. It's a little, no better problem to mask a really bad defense, especially really bad transition defense, than that old Tony Bennett's UVA offense.
Yep. One more game in CBB. You got USC and Indiana. A lot of people are asking about USC. We got some people in chat asking about Indiana as a safe parlay piece. What are your thoughts on this game? I feel like it's probably the Trojans, although they've cost us coins every time we take them in a sharp spot. And they cost me coins when I bet them against Michigan in their last game. probably still the Trojans here, but fading into Indiana at Assembly Hall is a death wish, and you will not see me doing it.
Yeah, you won't see me doing it either. But looking at this game, definitely screams USC keeps it close.
It's got to be Trojans.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not doing it, though.
I'm not doing it either, so it's about to be free. Take the Trojans.
Air, dude. They might win outright.
And do not use Indiana as a safe parlay piece. Not today. Not today. Is there a college basketball square, Jovan, that you had or maybe we're thinking of? I would love to add a college basketball square to these 3 NBA squares and make it a lineup.
Are you talking about like one I already had or an additional one?
An additional one that maybe you thought about putting in the Sharp Report, didn't make it, or just one that you cross paths with in college?
There's a couple that I cross paths with. I can take a quick look for a reminder. But, I mean, off rip, I would not mind taking something Penn State related.
After talking about that total. Yeah,
after talking about a total. Maybe it's just Ace Baldwin, which I would have absolutely no problem getting involved in.
He's him.
Yeah, literally him. I would have no issues.
He's got a pretty Reddit out charts. I wouldn't mind taking Yannick either, but I'd probably rather go Ace.
Zach Hicks is an option potentially too.
Zach Hicks is up for 9.5 points.
Yeah, Matt's saying that in chat.
What do you like about Zach Hicks, Matt Gauthier? Huh.
Could be goated.
Zach Hicks more than 9 points. What do you think, Jovan? Do you think we go Ace Baldwin or do you think we go Zach Hicks?
I mean, my gut definitely tells me Ace Baldwin because against Illinois, I would want, in an ideal world, a guard that's getting to the rim because they've been actually kind of good in the paint. I know Goots was bitching about that, I think, last time. He had what was it, Osabar? Or maybe that was not in that game, but I know Osabar got shut down for the most part.
No, that was the Maryland game, different game.
That was the Maryland game, you're so right. But I know Osabar got shut down for the most part against Washington, and that was still in a game where they scored like 80 points. They've been pretty solid in the paint, relatively outside of, I don't know, Biddle is really the only one that like just got them and really demolished in the paint for a little bit. So they've been getting better. It's like I kind of want a guard.
If you want a guard that's getting to the rack, if you want a guard getting to the rack, it's probably Ace. If you want a guard jacking threes, it's probably Zach Hicks. Maybe go Ace Baldwin, 15.5 points. I like that.
Sure.
I like that. Okay. Chat, I will drop the link to that lineup right now in the Twitch chat if you want to tail, if you want to get involved. Emmanuel Quickly, more than PRA. Jared Allen, more than rebounds. Giannis, more than points. And Ace Baldwin, more than points. I'll drop the link to that right now as we speak. Boom. It's in there. Okay. We got Pork Chop Hit 'em coming in, dropping a follow. I don't know what that name is, but I like it. Pork Chop Hit 'em. Okay. Appreciate the follow, my man. Jovan, we got about 7 minutes left. Okay. Any other plays in college that you want to talk about? Any games that we missed?
I was surprised I didn't get a Hokies report today.
They don't deserve it. Fuck them. I know, big win over the weekend, but
nothing, Krabs.
I mean, look, man, Stanford is just as bad. So I guess you could get cute and take the Hokies, and can it get worse for the Hokies? Maybe they found something that works in that last game against Miami, but I really do think they're just that bad. And if you just keep fading the Hokies every game, you're probably making coins. And Stanford laying 9, that's a lot of points, man. And now an ACC game, a conference game.
It is going out west, though. That was the one thing that like I'm trying to be cautious of a little bit. I feel like just like in football, you're going to get a little inflated line on some of these ACC games. I guess especially Big Ten can also be a part of that if when the East teams are going west or vice versa. So I looked at it and I was like, yeah, it's kind of fat because Stanford's been moose, but maybe Maybe it's just because of the fat trip. Who knows? But I'm definitely.
I think it's Stanford, man.
Not taking the Hokies, man.
I think it's Stanford laying that big number, and the Hokies coming off that win. I think you fade them. Yep.
Well,
I think you fade them.
A little fatter, but also bozo piece potential.
Yeah, Stanford.
Yeah.
If you got something close to a pick 'em, a favorite laying, I don't know, 2 or 3 points that you don't want to lay the spread, yeah, you could pair them with Stanford's. Shit, even 3.5, 4. Sure. All right. Sure. And don't let Army and Navy get swept early on chat today. All right. It's still weird seeing Stanford play Dub B and Jan. I mean, yeah. Stanford playing any of these East Coast teams is fucking weird. It makes no sense, but it is what it is. It's the world we live in now. We got to move with it. Please take Hicks instead. Ah, shit. Well, it's too late. It's too late. It's already been done, Smokey. I apologize. He's saying Boswell will shut down Baldwin. He's acting like he's a manager on the team. He's scaring me a little bit.
Who is he? Jesus. Like Prime Pavev, dude?
Shit.
He ain't that good.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. All right, well, we got 5 minutes left. We could craft up a squad ride here if you guys want to get involved, and we could spend a little bit extra time on this puppy since we're coming off of 2 straight L's. Okay? Diehard Illinois fan, just watch. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. I'll be waiting for it, my man. Let's craft the squad ride. Gootsy, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. Well, Jovan, we could get it started out with Army or Navy in college basketball, or we could pivot to maybe some better plays for the squad ride today. All right, let's lock in. Let's find a winner that we like and get started out with George Mason's looking at me funny from your place. I really like that one. And I obviously really like South Carolina and Villanova for my plays.
South Carolina is definitely looking at me funny from your place.
We'll put that in there. Can we put George Mason in this puppy?
Sure.
What about Miami or ECU?
I mean, I'm obviously down for either of them. I think confidence level is probably Miami than ECU, but it's not a big difference.
We'll put Miami in there. It's so gross, but it's hitting.
Nasty.
Now, any other plays that we just talked through today that we really like that maybe not necessarily were on the sharp reports that we could put in this puppy as well? Maybe it's, your Cavs play in the NBA.
Could be
I
the
wouldn't
Cavs.
hate that.
Could be the Cavs.
I'm going to do one more scroll through college basketball as well, but I do like that Cavs look from you. George Mason's laying 11.5 right now. Does that scare you? They're down from 13.5 back to 11.5.
Not really. It's been bouncing back and forth pretty much all morning.
Okay.
I'm trying to look and see at anything else. Anything else we brought up that's stuck?
Yeah, I'm scrolling through CBBs. I like St. Louis against the Bonnies. I like that Penn State, Illinois over.
Ooh.
You want to put that in there?
Might have to.
I'm down to run that. Over 163.5.
God, so high.
I know. But I wanted to get a play involved in there that wasn't just on the sharp report, a play that we came across today that we fell in love with. And I think that's the one for today. All right?
Yep.
Chat, 4 plays, 4 winners. You got a couple minutes to lock in your squad ride vote here in the poll on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, you're awesome. We appreciate you, but you got to make your way over to the Twitch page at Bookit Sports to lock in your vote for the squad ride poll. 4 plays, 4 winners. We got South Carolina plus 10, George Mason minus 11.5. We've got Miami ML. These are all CBB plays, along with Penn State, Illinois over 163.5. All right, 4 plays, 4 winners. Hurry up, go, go, go. Get involved. Click the right button, please. Please. All right? Get involved. Miami taking an early lead. People want to get nasty today. I respect that.
Wow.
I respect it. All right. Sack up and put Nova. Jovan hates that play's guts. We're leaving that play out.
I don't hate
I'll
it.
that one on my
I
own.
don't hate it at all, dude.
He hates its guts.
I do not hate it at all.
Why did the George Mason line move? To be honest, I don't know. But I can look into it right now.
What time does coin toss drop? I think it just might have. I think it just did, Goots. Could be wrong, but we're getting text sent in about the or with the link and title. I think that's what it is. Oh, there we go.
Wow, coin toss just dropped. Let's go, chat. Make sure you guys go watch the coin toss, please. Go watch the coin toss. The link is in the chat. Let's fucking go. W's. Excited to watch that puppy. Okay. Chat, get those vets in. Looks like it's going to be Miami. You got another couple seconds here to get involved. Okay. Click the right button. It's looking like it's going to be the Hurricanes getting their first win post-Larinaga era. Should be a good look. And there will be an NFL playoff pod this weekend. PrizePicks, don't you worry.
Good's so mad right now. So mad.
What
now
is
he's
he
going
mad
to have
about?
to watch it. Now he's going to have to watch it and might have to bet on it.
This was Goots' biggest fear today. He said, I do not want to watch this game.
It just has no aura. Like Florida State and Miami to me on the hardwood, I just like that's not taking up one of my TVs.
They've lost all the aura now, yes. I agree with you.
Aura's gone. So
I might just let it splooge and not even turn it on.
No, come on, Goots.
We'll see.
All right. WBTL today, W Squad rides. We're locking in Miami on the hardwoods. Miami ML, CBB today. Get involved responsibly. Okay, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Please go watch the coin toss. Please go drop a like on that video right now. Hurry up. Go, go, go.